Right.
Good morning, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. During the declared emergency, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and in-person attendance limitations. My name is Isaac Laluz, and I'll be chairing the hearing. Panel members participating today via WebEx and can be seen and heard are Ms. Sankar, Ms. Atarodi, Mr. Bartolo, and Mr. Klassen. City staff will be assisting us throughout the meeting, including the moderating of WebEx platform. Participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentation to the committee using the said WebEx. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching on YouTube. These participants will be connecting either by their computer, a phone, a tablet app, or by telephone. All participants will automatically be muted upon entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. Any registered speaker will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called on to speak. For all those waiting online to speak, please make sure you call with the telephone number you originally registered with. Calling with a different number you will not be able to speak on the item. Also, please ensure that you do not use your speakerphone, the function of the speakerphone. The land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 of the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with 45 Section and 43 Planning Act 1993 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provision of the zoning bylaw, permission to extend or alter legal non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone in attendance today who wants to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email only. If you do not agree with the committee's decisions may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, known as the TLAB, or in some limited circumstances, to the Local Appeal Planning Tribunal, known as LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. The hearing procedure today will be as follows. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee, and then the committee may ask questions and/or take the matter directly for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when the 5-minute mark is reached. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposal at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to receive a notice are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or in opposition to the application will be invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker at the end of their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant has the chance to address only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken to committee for a decision. Now, before we have a set of minutes to adopt, and that is October 15, 2020. Members, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes of October 15, 2020? Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar, second.
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, I'll adopt.
Second. Mr. Klassen, all in favor? Okay, the minutes of October 15, 2020 are now adopted. Now, for this session of the morning only, members and staff, any conflict of interest to declare? No? Okay, thank you. Now we have...
Mr. Chairman.
Yes?
Mr. Chairman, we also have the minutes of January 28th to adopt.
Oh, there's another set, yeah? January
Yes.
January what?
28.
28, thank you. One more set of minutes to adopt. Ms. Sankar?
I motion to approve those minutes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Klassen, all in favor? Okay. I see your, Ms. Okay.
No, I just don't know if I was on January 25th, but I don't know if I can.
Oh, that's okay.
Because I was not sitting on that panel.
Okay.
That's why I didn't put my
Okay,
hands
so
up.
thank you. Okay, Ms. Sankar is not, Ms. Atarodi is not voting there. So the minutes of January 28 are now approved. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Secretary Deputy? That's it. Two sets of October 15.
That's it for now.
Thank you. Okay, now we have request for a deferral on an application number 4, which is 52 Scarsdale Road. There is a request for deferral, and the agent here is the agent there for number 4, which is 52 Scarsdale. Connor McBroom, are you there?
Hey, good morning, Connor McBroom here.
Thank you. Yeah, you as agreed. It said here as agreed with the planning that you are deferring. I know the reason here, but we need you to state the reason for the deferral.
Thank you. Yes, we've been back and forth and received input from planning staff on the loading configuration of our site plan, and we would like to defer as further to that back and forth with planning staff and the transportation planner. We've revised the site plan and the loading configuration of it. However, we were unable to have the revised plan circulated prior to the public notice being sent out.
Okay, thank you. So we have a number of residents registered here. We have here Jonathan Gold. Are you there? Mr. Gold, are you there?
Mr. Chair, members, Jonathan does not appear to be on the call at this
Okay.
time.
Okay. Grace Ho, are you there?
Grace is here.
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Yes, I am here.
Thank you. Can you please tell us your name and your address for the records here?
Okay. My name is Grace Hall. My address is 4840 Ronan Road.
Thank you. Now you heard where the application is being requested for deferral, which means we're not going to discuss it today. Do you still want to say something, or you're okay?
I can say something, but since they're going to revise their plan, so I don't know, like I don't know anything about the revised plan.
That's,
But based on what is presenting, I can say something, but I don't know whether I should or not.
well, it's you don't have to say anything because the application is being deferred. That means we're not discussing it today. When it comes next,
Right.
when it comes next time, you will be advised, and the updates will be shown at that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another one, Fred Ho. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, members, Fred is not present on the call.
Okay, so that's it. Members, we have number 4, 52 Scarsdale Road for deferral. Do you have any questions or motion? Ms. Satarodi?
No question, but if other member don't have any question, through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to defer this application so that applicant have time to circulate the revised public notice and other requirement things.
Thank you. You want it sunny day, right?
Die?
Thank you.
Correct.
Okay, Ms. Satarodi, motion to defer, and Ms. Sankar second. All in favor? Okay, unanimously. So, Mr. Broom, the application is deferred sunny day for you to update your plans, and at that time you'll check with the staff when it's coming for hearing. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Ms. Satardi and members of the committee, we look forward to providing an update shortly.
Thank you. Now we have another one, which is,
Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt? Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt for a
Yeah,
second?
Yeah.
The January 28th minutes are not ready for adoption. That was an error.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Okay, so that's okay. So they're not adopted, so that's fine. Yeah, I thought there was only October 15. Thank you.
So I withdraw my motion to adopt.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. It won't. It'll be coming back again. Okay, so we have number 9. Also, there is a request for deferral on number 9. We have Mr. David McKay. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
This is
hi.
David Mackay with
Okay.
MHVC Planning.
Good morning. Yeah, we hear you. Could you please, just for the record, to state your name and address?
Yes, David Mackay, 7050 Weston Road, Suite 230, Vaughan, Ontario, L4L 8G7.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw your letter for a request for deferral. I know the reason, but we need you to state the reason why you would like to defer the application.
Yes, there's a number of comments and concerns raised by the immediate adjacent neighbors, and my client would like time to meet with his neighbors to try to resolve those concerns if he can. He has been meeting with the neighbor to the north, for example, but we simply ran out of time in terms of those discussions. So we're requesting a deferral for about a month or so in order to further those discussions and hopefully come to resolution with the neighbors.
Yeah, that's very clear. Now we have a few registered residents to speak. We'll see if they're here. Mr. Moderator, Al Kivi, are you there?
Yes, this is Al Kivi.
Okay, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. So, sir, could you please state your name and address for the records here?
My name is Al Kivi. I live at 427 Belsize Drive.
Thank you. Now, you heard the application is going to be deferred and they'll come back with the changes, whatever they make. So, in the meantime, we're not going to discuss the application. So, you're okay, or you need something to say?
I'm very pleased with the progress that's been made already, particularly with the acknowledgement of the city planner and the applicant of the purpose and intent of the Davisville Village bylaw. So I think we're heading in the right direction on that. I would, on behalf of our Residents Association, agree with the deferral.
Thank you. The next is we have Linton Carter. Are you there? Linton Carter, is he there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're here. Yeah, we hear you. So you heard we're not discussing the application today. It's being deferred, and it'll come eventually with the changes if there are any, and you'll be advised. You're okay with that?
Yes, I'm comfortable. I'm happy with the deferral.
Thank you. Next is Janet Wilson.
Mr. Chair and members, Janet does not appear to be on the call at this time.
Okay, thank you. David Wells, are you there? Mr. Wells?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm here.
Could you please state your name and address for the records here?
David Wills, 37 Hadley Road.
Thank you. You heard what's happening. The application is not going to be discussed today. We're just deferring it until next time. You're okay with that?
I support the deferral.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's all we have for this application. And members, we have a request for deferral for number 9, and which is 35 Hadley Road. Can I have a motion, please, to defer? Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, I'll put forward a motion to defer this application so that it could be worked on further with the neighbors as well, and that is Sine Die.
Thank you. Second, Ms. Atarodi. Oh, I have 2 seconds. Mr. Bartolo. Okay, Mr. Atarodi, second. All in favor? Okay. Sir, your application, Mr. McKay, your application is deferred, Sine Die, and you can check with the staff when it's going to be coming back, okay?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, so that's all the deferral. Now, the staff, do we have any closing files? Any request for files to be closed? No? Okay. So we're going to begin with the application number 1, which is 190 Gordon Road. And we have here...
Mr. Chair and members, I'd like to bring to your attention that the agent is not present on the call at this moment.
Oh.
But we will look hard to contact them.
Okay, so we're going to hold down this for a while.
Please.
And please let us know when they're on board, okay? Thank you. Okay, so we go to number 2, which is 18 Banff Road, application number 2. So we have here Cheryl Wong. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we have here the application, existing sunroom to be replaced, and also to construct a rear yard deck. 4 variances. We have 2 letters of support and forestries. The staff has only a recommendation to develop in accordance with north and elevation drawings. Now, do we need a presentation, members? No, we don't need a presentation. Okay, so so, Ms. Wong, the members do not need a presentation. Do you still need something to say, or we just move to the decision?
I think we can move to the decision.
Thank you. Okay. Can I have a motion, please, or if you have any question? Ms. Satarodi?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with one staff condition that the develop substantially accordance with the site plan and the north side elevation drawings submitted to the city, report 1 and 2 to this attachment 1 and 2, and also subjected to forestry.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Okay, your application is unanimously approved, subject to those conditions. You're okay, or you want me to repeat the conditions?
Oh, no, I'm okay. I
You're
know
okay.
the conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Chair and members, I did a little digging, and I have a record. I found a note that it appears to be Bill Ross that is looking after the item number 1.
Is he?
And Bill Ross is on the call, so we can double check with him right now if you'd like.
Okay, so we'll go back to number 1, huh? Okay, Mr. Ross, are you there?
Yes.
Bill, you're going to need to
Yes,
speak a
I am
little
here.
louder.
Mr. Ross?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Could you please speak up and state your name and address just for the records here?
My name is Bill Ross, number 9 Bestwick Lane, Uxbridge, Ontario.
Okay, this is application number 1, which is 190 Gordon Road, and we have here a number of residents to speak. So please go ahead and make your presentation. Tell us what we have here. We have a severance of and two dwellings. Who's that? And what's that? Okay, so we have a severance here and 2 dwellings. The staff report is asking to refuse the application. We have 25 letters of objection. The forestry also denied the application or a set of conditions and permits. And councillor letter supports the planning to refuse the application. Now, do you still want to go ahead with the application?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to defer the application.
Okay. All right. We have a request for deferral, and could you please just state the reason you want to defer it?
Yes, we need a little more time so that we can talk to the local councillor and to the ratepayers and so on.
Okay. Okay. Now, could you please check your equipment, because we have some background here. It's coming back. So could you please make sure that you're not using any additional equipment there? Okay. So we have a request for deferral, and the reason. Now we have a set of people who wants to speak. We have 18 residents registered here, and we're going to start with the first one, Dr. Keith Quirk. Dr. Keith Quirk, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you heard we're not
Can I
discussing
speak now?
we're not discussing the application today. It is being deferred. If we defer it, we will not discuss today, only when it comes back. You're okay with that, or you can move on?
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Thank you. Pei Zhang, are you there? Pei Zhang.
Mr. Chair, PA Zhang is not present on the call at this time.
Thank you. Faimut Jiang, are you there?
Mr. Chair, I do not see Faimut Jiang on the call at this time.
Thank you. Kelly Hu, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Okay, so you heard, could you please tell us your name and address?
Yes, my name is Kelly and my address is 208 Olin Boulevard.
Thank you.
I'm very pleased about the deferral because this place is very close to my residence, and I do believe not going on with this plan will be in the best interest of the neighborhood. Thank you very much.
So you're okay with deferral. Thank you. Next.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is James Fu. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're okay with deferral. You heard what's happening, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm strongly opposite, but I agree with the deferral.
Okay, thank you. Just for the records, could you please repeat your name and address?
My name is James Fu. I'm representing 214 Owen Boulevard and 211 Owen Boulevard.
Thank you. Next is David Jacobs. Are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, David is not present on the call.
Okay, thank you. Norm Daniels, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, Norm is not on the call.
Thank you. Marina Mirabella, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, Marina is not present on the call.
Thank you. Roland Leader, are you there? Roland Leader, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, could you please tell us, you heard what's happening, is being the deferral request. You're okay with the deferral?
I would prefer that the developer bring the matter to the committee today.
Well, yeah, well, we'll have to decide. We have the request for deferral, and all the residents are on board for the deferral, and we'll note your desire for today, and we'll go back to the applicant, and we'll have questions there. Okay. Now we missed here.
Thank you.
We missed here Jianping Fu. Oh, there was another one here. We have James Fu, and we have Jianping Fu.
Mr. Chair, if we can call upon Jean's son at this point, that'd be great.
Okay. And
hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. This is Jean. This is Jean's son.
Okay. Thank you. We hear you. Can you please state your name and address?
My name is Jean Sun. I live at 191 Gordon Road.
Thank you. Now we have a request for deferral. If we do, which means we're not going to discuss it today. You're okay?
Yes, I'm okay with the deferral.
Thank you. Now, Jiafeng Fi, are you there?
Mr. Chair, I think that might be James again. We can double check though. James Fu.
Actually, sorry, I put my name, actually legal name is Jianping Fu. So I prefer English name, James Fu, is same person.
Okay, so that's okay. Now we have Jianfeng Fei. Who's that? Another one?
Hi, I'm Jianfeng Fei.
Okay.
I'm here, yeah.
Thank you. Can you please state your name and address?
My name is Jianfeng Fei. We live at 187 Golden Road.
Okay. And you heard what's happening. There is a request for deferral. And
yes.
Okay, you're okay with the deferral?
We strongly disagree with this proposal, but agree the deferral, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Wang Bijian. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, Wang is not present on the call at this time.
Natasha Fidder, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, please state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Natasha Fetter, and the address is 178 Owen Boulevard.
Thank you. You heard we're having a request for deferral. Are you okay with that?
I did hear that, Mr. Chairman. I actually would have preferred to go ahead, as Mr. Leader had said. I don't quite understand the reason for not going ahead on behalf of the person proposing it. So I'd just like to state that, but I understand that there isn't really an option.
Well, they will. The members will decide. We record your. We'll get the agent back to respond to those requests, and the members will make a decision. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ghazal Musa, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, Ghazal is not present on the call.
Thank you. Loretta Leo, are you there? Loretta Leo.
Mr. Chair, they are not present on the call at this time.
William Chang, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, William is not present on the call at this time.
Thank you. Patrick Su, are you there?
Mr. Chair. Oh, they are present. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Patrick Sue, are you there, please?
Yes, I am. It's Patrick Sue.
Okay. Can you please state your name and address? The address. Your own address. Mr. Patrick Sue, could you please repeat your name and state your address, please?
Patrick, please do not mute or unmute yourself. City staff will be responsible for that. You are unmuted at this time, so go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
I object to this last minute for the applicant to be asking for deferral. Surely they realized that this was happening today, and they could have given us, the other people, at least some notice by withdrawing their or asking for the deferral before today.
Okay, so what's your concern? You would like it to be discussed today?
Yes.
Okay, we'll note that one here. And again, could you please repeat your name and address, because you didn't say your address?
Patrick Sue, 165 Owen Boulevard.
Thank you. Next is Barry Reiter. Are you there? Reiter.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Again, could you please state your name and address?
I am Barry Reiter, 192 Owen Boulevard.
Thank you. So you
That's
heard
the
there is
feedback.
you heard there is a
Barry, that's because you're logged in twice with 2 different devices.
Right. Can you drop me off one?
Okay, we'll drop you off for one. Okay, so all right, so we have your name and address. Could you please you heard what's happening? There's a request for deferral, and you're okay with that?
Well, the application is highly inappropriate, as has been shown by the opposition of the city planner, the city councillor, the local residents association, and 25 objectors. So it would be my preference that the committee dismiss the application today and require the proponent to commence again with a more appropriate presentation. Okay. However, if the committee feels it's right, then deferring for an opportunity for the proponent to present a more reasonable proposal working with the local residents, I would reluctantly support that.
Yeah, thanks for that comment. We'll have the agent back to address those requests, and the members will make, and the committee will make a decision. Okay, so that's all the people we have for the area residents. Okay, so please, when you're finished, could you please unmute your devices there? And now we get Mr. Ross. Could you come back, please?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Sir, if Mr. Ross can also address, as he's addressing the persons who, I think it's Natasha and Mr. Vida and at least a couple others who want to hear this today, I'd like Mr. Ross to address how does this deferral, how does it deal with the, planning's concern with the size? Is that something he's going to be looking at in terms of the lot size?
Thank you, Ms. Nadini. This is the reason we're calling him back, to address those requests. Thank you. That's very good. Somebody's following good. Okay, Mr. Ross.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, you made a request for deferral, and you heard most of them are okay with deferral, but a number of them, like Ms. Sankar said, they're requesting to hear the application today. Could you please comment on that, and then the members will make a decision?
Yes. Well, there were a number of things that we're dealing with regards to the property, but we've had we noted that the councillor had a meeting with ratepayers. The Ratepayers Association has input. The neighbors have all sorts of complaints. Almost all of them have come very recently and we haven't had a chance to reply to any of them. So we would like to have some extra time so that we can talk to the local councillor, to the Ratepayers Association, and Parks Department with regarding their trees, and so on.
Okay, that's it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
it's up to the agent to do their homework before they come to committee.
Yes.
We don't circulate notices to weed out who's going to show up or not, so the applicant can come in and ask for deferral and delay the process even more.
That's a very
It's unfair that all these people took the time off today to attend this hearing, and because the applicant's not ready, they shouldn't be penalized.
That's a very good.
Also, I don't understand how, if the planning has an issue with the size of the lot, how is a deferral going to make the size of the lot any bigger?
Right. Yeah. The
So any agent that's out there listening, do your homework before you come to committee.
That's a very good comment. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Could you please? Mr. Ross, the comment here is very appropriate. We up to this morning, we had the application in front of us with all the comments, and the people are showing up and everything, and you come at the last minute and you request a deferral. And also, I guess we had registered here Hamid Bahrami, and you came instead, and you telling us that you want to defer the application. So let me first get the members to have any questions. Any question to Mr. Ross? He's asking for deferral. Some people don't want it, and it's as we heard here, is not fair to the people who come here all the time. We have a request. We have a recommendation to refuse the application, and at the last minute we have a deferral. So can we? Any question for this member, for the agent?
I have no question. No, I have no question. I'm ready for the motion.
You're ready for the motion? Okay. How about, can I hear from somebody else? Okay. All right. So in other words, we have the thing here. Okay. So can I have a motion then? Go ahead, please.
So, through you, Mr. Chair, I listened to the presenter, and I listened to Secretary Treasurer comment, and we have the staff report in front of us. The staff reviewed 550 lots, and this proposed lot size is actually the smallest size that have been ever proposed. Therefore, I am not sure if by deferring this application and by talking with councillor or other people, it will change the lot study. So therefore, I generally believe that this is not an appropriate proposal for this neighborhood, and it doesn't actually, it's not going with the physical characteristic of a neighborhood. Therefore, my proposal will be to just deny the application, refuse the application.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before we make a motion to deny the application, we have to give each person the ability to speak to the merits of the application. So your motion then should be whether to defer it or not first.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So the problem, the question is we have here what, 1, 2, 3, we have to go over all the other ones. Ms. Sankar wants to say something.
Seeing that we can't make the motion, if that's possible, Ms. Satarodi, I'll make a motion to not defer this application for those very reasons that people have taken their time to come here. And I asked a specific question to Mr. Ross, whether his deferral will address the lot size issue as per the staff report. He did not provide that answer. So I motion to refuse the deferral. Let's hear this application and make a decision today.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Ms. Satarodi, you're withdrawing your motion. You're okay?
Yes, I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Okay.
And I second Nadine's motion.
Okay, Mr. Ross.
Mr. Chair, can we finish the process of
What's that?
approving this request to refuse the deferral?
No, we're refusing the deferral, yeah.
We can make sure the members all vote on it officially then?
Oh, okay. Okay, who wants to make a motion to refuse it?
Mr. Chairman, we have a motion from Nadine Peralta to refuse the deferral.
Yes.
We need a seconder.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Ms. Tarodi withdraw her first one. We have a Ms. Sankar to refuse the deferral. Can I have a second? Ms. Tarodi, second. All in favor?
I'll second deferral, yes.
All in favor? Okay. Opposed? Okay, Mr. Klassen is opposing. So we have the motion to is approved to refuse the deferral. Now we're going to move on to the hearing of the application. So, Mr. Ross, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the deferral did not make any sense at this point. Like the staff mentioned and the members are mentioning, a deferral is not going to change the size of the lot. So could you please go ahead? You have 5 minutes and tell us the merit of your application.
Okay, so just a little more clarification, because I couldn't come back and ask you or reply further. When we were going to talk to the neighbors and so on, we could change the size of the lot. We could move one lot, make the smaller one a little bit bigger, make them sort of two equal lots. But I didn't really have that as a...
Mr. Ross, as we said in the beginning of our opening here, we cannot make changes at the last minute. Everything has to be circulated to the people to know what the changes are. Those major changes, we can't make them here. So the question here, we're going to go ahead with the application today to hear it, and if it's refused, then you can come up with some other thing, and you can come up with another application, because we cannot change this ones here at the last minute. So please tell us what the merit of the application as it stands.
Okay. The merits of the application are that the gentleman that owns the property has lived there for 40 years, and he'd like to take the existing house down and build a new one on a smaller lot behind where he has, and build another one so that he and his son can live on the property. When we're looking at this, we also noted that there's all kinds of complaints due to various misunderstandings of what the bylaw really talks about. So that's why we're looking to talk to the neighbors and so on. The application really doesn't address any adverse impact on the property. If we build a house on the smaller lot behind where the original one is, that house will be essentially the same as the house that's directly across the street from it. We're not reducing the side yards regardless of the side of the building. So that the house, when you drive down the street, you won't see whether the lot is small. It's a small rectangular piece that's there. It's basically in line with the existing houses on the street there, the new one and the existing one. So that when it's divided, we just simply won't have very much of a backyard. But we don't go behind the house that's adjacent to us, and we don't encroach on the people's backyards behind us. If you look at the house from the front, you're going to see the house. It's the same house. When you go along the street, you don't know how deep that lot is. So it has no virtual impact on anybody. That's why we're asking for the land division. It's and the request to put another house there. There's enough space to accommodate a house with basically the required front yard setbacks and the side yards. We just don't have a big backyard. It's only about 15 feet or so in the backyard, but that's adequate for the people that, for the gentleman who wants to occupy it, who also has been living on the property for the last 40 years. So that's the reasoning we have for the land division.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's it. Okay, well, we'll bring you back after we speak today, but in the meantime, is there any quick question to Mr. Ross before we bring him back? So, no? Okay, so we're going to go back to the list again. And again, you tell us which ones are not here, Mr. Moderator. Okay. We have here Dr. Keith Noak. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're still there. Okay, we're hearing the application
Yes.
today, and you heard what the applicant said. And tell us quickly, please, what your concern is, and we move on.
Thank you very much, and thank you for somebody else speaking for me. I'm a cardiologist. I'm on call today. I really take it. It is a big effort for me to join a hearing. I really appreciate somebody else speak for that. Now, I'm at 193 Gordon Row, and right opposite 190 Gordon Row, and I've lived there for 25 years, and my kids all grown up here, and we care about the neighborhood. I must say that this is the first time I attend hearing, and I never in the past, rightly or wrongly, object to any kind of adjustment in the neighborhood because we are neighbors, like we want to give allowance. But this one, I want to speak pretty strongly against it. And here are the reasons. Number one, I think that it increased the risk to pedestrian and traffic safety, particularly for the children and the youth. So I want to speak, you probably know, there are two public schools about a block away from this corner. And also the second point is this corner is a very sharp corner. It's way over 90 degrees turn. And there is no pedestrian sidewalk. And people walk on the street, including the kids, the youth, they walk on the road to go to school. And in the winter time, it's even more so walking near the center of the road because of the snow piled up on the curb. And in the summertime, and kids like to bike a little bit around that corner because it's a blind end. It's a very quiet place. So I think that with this proposal, putting two slots and building a house near the corner is actually would block the views for the drivers and pedestrians around the corner. And I think that creates a safety issue. In addition to that, it also there's addition of a driveway near this corner, which I think make the matter worse. And I live at that corner. I'm very cognizant of the traffic and pedestrian risk around this corner. And for myself, over the years, I have a few near misses around this corner. So I really want to emphasize this point. And number two objection is the part one of this proposal is about 35% smaller than the lot requirement. So it's not, to me, it's not a minor variance, which application put as is a major variance. It's smaller than any kind of lot in that neighborhood. And number three objection or reason is the proposed house coverage for part one is 39.5% of the lot area, which is 11% above the permitted. And number four reason is the proposed front setback is about 30% over the standard setback. So it will make it stick out further into the street compared to the neighboring house. Number five reason is the height, which is, I think, is a big concern because it's like 8 to 9 feet above the permitted. So it's equivalent to about 1 floor higher than the surrounding houses. So it will create a lot of issues, I think. And I think that the sum is bigger than its parts. So you add up all these so-called minor, which is not that minor variances, it add up to a much bigger negative impact and is out of character and the look of this neighborhood and lead to a lot of piracy issues, excessive shadowing on the neighboring houses and on the road. It reduced green space and trees. And I think that it increased traffic and road risk around that corner. And number six is really the same reasons above, but for lot part two. And a few illustration is the front and rear roof eaves are over 100% over the permitted. The house height is again 8 to 9 feet above the permitted, and the front setback is about 17% over the permitted. So for the same kind of objection for part 1 is applied to part 2. So these applications, I'm a layman. This is the first time attending hearing. It talks about minor adjustment. To me, these are not minor adjustment. They're major adjustment for major negative impact on the neighborhood. I know the city aims to maintain and enhance the neighborhood, but this proposed application, I think it will lead to degrading the character and value of the neighborhood, and it will set the precedence for similar application. So I really object to the entire application, not just a part of it. And I have 2 other concerns about the process. One is the notification is sent out to the neighborhood around 60 meters, but
You have
separating a
15,
lot.
sir, you have 15 seconds left. Could you please wrap up?
Sure, I'm finishing. So I think it should be more neighbors should be notified for this major change. It's not a minor change, not just 60 meters. And secondly, it's quite multicultural now, and I think there's a language barrier to some neighborhood, and that need to be addressed. And I know there are neighbors who are opposed to it, but because of language barrier, like not attending the hearing. So this is what I want to say, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, stay right there. Stay right there, please. Any question to this
Sure.
speaker? No questions? Okay. All right. So we'll hear the other ones, and we'll bring the applicants to answer the questions. Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Now the next one wasn't there. Zhang wasn't there, right?
You're correct, Mr. Chair. Fu Zhang is not present on the call.
And Paimot wasn't there either. Paimot Jiang wasn't there.
Correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so Kelly.
No, sorry, I apologize. They are present.
Jiang is here, yeah? Okay. Paimot Jiang, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, can you please state your name and address, please?
My name is Faman Jiang. I'm from 191 Gordon Road, right across to this proposed location.
Okay, you heard the first speaker. Do you have anything different from what the gentleman says? Because we have a lot of people. You have the right to speak, but if you're okay with what it says, just move on, please.
Okay. My thought is pretty close to Dr. Kwok. I just will quickly summarize my thought. First, I have some concern about this application, and I just quite quickly summarize. First is that it's really changed the character of this neighborhood. Like Mr. Ross just mentioned, if we drive on the street, it doesn't look the same. But I don't think so. I really cannot visualize it. But what I'm looking at is the setback is a few meters difference, and the height variance is also about 2 meters difference. That would be really changed. It's not, if we drive by, it will be different. That's how I can say. Second is also the safety concern. My kids are small, and there's a sharp corner. Like I noticed there's a previous similar application in our neighborhood on Owen Boulevard, 55 Owen Boulevard, and 159 Owen Boulevard and 55 Owen Boulevard. Both a similar situation. Divide a corner lot divided into two, one lot facing to one street and the other lot facing the other street. I wouldn't agree those two applications, but if I have to compare these few applications, I think those more rectangle divide would be making more sense. And this application is a sharp corner. I think that's not very proper. So just in summary, I object this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question? Okay, we'll go to the next one. The next one is Jiang. Faimo Jiang, is he there? Yeah? Kelly Ho. How about Jiang? Wasn't there, huh? Yeah. Okay. Kelly Ho, are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Okay, you heard the other ones, the opposition. Do you have something different? We like to hear it, and if you agree with them, it's okay.
Okay, I agree with what Keith said. I think he make all the points. So I wish to reject their application.
I'm sorry.
And also I want
Repeat that. You
sorry,
want to?
hi. I
What-
agree with what Keith said,
Okay.
and I wish the committee will move on to object their application.
Application, yeah. Okay. That's
And
it.
I also want to mention one thing. There's this gentleman, he signed up for this meeting, but he couldn't join. I don't know why. It's Davy J. So can you just make sure he get to speak too?
Okay.
His number is 41.
So you basically agree with what it was said before about the application, right?
Yes, I want to object it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any question? If anybody want like question, just shout, okay? Okay. Now, James Fu, is he still? James Fu.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, tell us please.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I strongly agree with Dr. Keith Corsat.
Yes.
He summary very well, but I just want to quickly speak something to our properties at 215 and 211 Owen Boulevard, because these two buildings, these two properties are right adjacent to the subject address. You know, the 214 Owen Boulevard, that's where I'm living now with my brother. That's right facing that address. If there's two buildings rise up, the one is very tall. It's like 32% taller than the supposed, it should build.
Okay.
It's facing southwest. It's gonna block the sunlight, make like huge shadows to our property. That make our trees, and not healthy, and also more important, not healthy to us. You're gonna live in the miserable, shadows there. And also the driveway is right at the corner. We go in and out daily. If there's a driveway building at a corner, even there is no stop sign. People cannot see from Gordon Road, the other side.
Okay.
And also from the another property, 211, which is at the east side of the supposed two buildings. They're gonna, that tall building gonna overlook that property. Their privacy will be affected. Also create shadows in the morning because sunlight is on the east side of that building. You're gonna block the sunlight too.
Okay.
So that's true, but I carefully calculated all the variants there. Most of them are more than 30% more.
Okay.
So even like it's 169, even like a double, more than double than it's supposed to be. That's the roof eaves, right? It's supposed to 0.9 meters, but the proposal is 2.42 meters. Okay, how can you do that?
Okay, so you agree with Dr. Kwong, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just want to make actual comments because we are the immediate victim of these two, supposed build like houses there. We're gonna we'll be impacted greatly, negatively, on this. It's not a sad, it's not visible. It's quite visible. Think about it, the tall building is more than 30% taller. Currently, it's just a nice bungalow there, right?
Yeah, we heard you.
So okay, yeah, thank you for listening.
Okay, any question? All right, so the next one we have here, Kelly who?
Hello. No, Mr. Chair, David Jacobs is available on the call.
Oh, he's
Hi there,
call,
can you
yeah,
hear me?
okay. And before that's James Fu.
And we just did James. Yeah.
Huh? Is James Fu there?
Oh, yeah, James is present.
Yeah, so he's
I just spoke.
He's before
Yeah.
Jacob. Oh yeah, that's Fu. Okay. Okay. So David Jacobs, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
David, yeah, we hear you. We have
Hello?
we have your address here. Could you please tell
Oh,
us your concern
it's
and if you agree with the people before, because we you know, we have
yeah, I'll make this very brief.
thank you.
It's David Jacobs, 179 Gordon Road. I agree with everything people have said before, very well stated. The only two issues to add, quite briefly, are that this risks increasing the the density of the area quite substantially, because there are many similar lots on every corner of the neighborhood. And we're already dealing with quite a problem in terms of the ability to house children in the school. We've got multiple portables on the school grounds, which is taking away green space from the school. And this would risk almost doubling the number of portables that the school would be required to have in order to house that many new children. The other issue that comes to mind is the fact that this is right adjacent to sensitive green space. The ravine system runs right along this. And if we take down more trees and if we pave over more green space, as is being proposed, you know, that will have an environmental impact. Yes, it's just outside of the ravine system. But the birds and the animals don't recognize that. So it will have significant impact beyond just the aesthetic and the safety issues and the conformity. So very much agree with what Keith said. And there are significant impacts to the entire neighborhood if this project was allowed to go forward. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That's very clear. And if there is no questions, we'll move to the next one. I guess Daniels and Mirabella are not there.
Yeah, Norm Daniels is not present on the call,
And
Marina Mirabella is not present on the call.
Present. Okay. And how about
Mr. Chair, we have Jean's son.
Jennifer, is he there? Yeah, he spoke before.
Hi.
Yeah, okay.
Hi.
Hi
this
there.
is Jean's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally agree with what Dr. Keith Guo said, and we support his reasons, but I have several sentences to emphasize. We strongly object to the application of the division of 190 Gordon. We live just opposite the 190 Gordon Road. If this 190 corner lot division passes, I would be so worried about my two little grandchildren who walk to Owen Public School every day.
Okay.
The sight of the drivers from Owen side would be definitely blocked by the new big tall houses. It is too dangerous when people try to make profit from the soaring house prices and squeeze the original traffic and environment designs. Also, I feel bad that those old trees, they would be cut down to make space for the extra new big house. It is obvious that the application is not appropriate, as it would produce two very jammed together houses on only half lot size compared with almost all houses in the neighborhood. So please do not let this lot division nightmare happen to our neighborhood. Okay. Safety and reasonable use of land should always be respected, no matter how the world changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And if there's any question, we'll move to the next one. I guess Roland Leader is not there, huh? Is present? Okay. Roland Leader, Mr. Leader.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Roland Leader, also a cardiologist. I've also taken off the morning to attend, so I'm grateful that you allowed me.
Can you please state your address?
I live at 174 Gordon Road.
Okay, and anything different from what you said before?
Yes, I support everything that my neighbors have said, Dr. Kwok, Dr. Jacobs, Jean Sue, but I wish to add some information. I'd like to respond to Mr. Ross's assertion that small backyards are no big deal. I'd like to refer to the OMB decision of in 2007 concerning the severance of 159 Owen Boulevard and 161 Owen Boulevard. The application was to essentially combine these two properties and to sever a portion of their backyards to create a third lot, which would front onto Fenn Avenue. So this application was refused at the Committee of Adjustment. And at that Committee of Adjustment meeting, the minor variances that were requested were that each lot would be approximately 675 square meters in area, and that the rear setback, which ought to have been 9.5 meters, was to be reduced to 8.75 meters. So for these properties were 15 square meters less than the minimum of 690. And the rear setback was, 3/4 of a meter less than what was in the bylaw. And on that basis, that proposal was refused. The current application is requesting much greater variance from the bylaws in terms of lot area and also in terms of the setbacks.
Yeah.
Now, but with specific reference to Mr. Ross's assertion that small backyards are nobody's problem, that the neighbors won't see it and so forth. I'd like to quote from the appeal to the Ontario Municipal Board for the same properties, 159 Owen and 161 Owen. This was in July 2007, in which the agent for the owner asserted that it's really nobody's business if the backyards are small because the passersby in the street will not see that. And the response was this, and I quote, "The residents of the neighborhood, on the other hand, have a great deal of interest in the backyards. They have, since the inception of the subdivision in the early 1950s, enjoyed
Mr. Leader, we don't have that in front of us today, so we don't have we can't.
Okay, I'll just paraphrase. I'll just paraphrase.
Yes.
At that decision, the decision was that indeed the residents do enjoy large landscaped open spaces. They enjoy their backyards. That the large yards in the neighborhood, which is the prevalent pattern, is in fact an important part of the neighborhood, and that for that reason alone, the appeal was denied. I just like to point out that in the City of Toronto official plan, it is mandated that development in established neighborhoods such as ours must respect and reinforce the existing physical character of the neighborhood, including the size of lots, the configuration of lots, prevailing patterns of rear and side yard setbacks, landscaping, open spaces. In this area, the prevailing pattern of lots are 11,000 square feet, which is much larger than what is proposed in this application. It's clear that previous decisions at the OMB and at the Committee of Adjustment have determined that this type of development is out of character and does not respect the physical reality of our neighborhood. And so I would ask that the Committee of Adjustment today reject this application.
That's it. Thank you. If you read the staff report, it reflects most of those things that you're mentioning, and that's what we're here for. So any question? No. Okay. So the next one is Jifang Fee. Yeah. Jifang Fee, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have your address here and everything. And if you agree with all the things that have been said, we don't have to repeat it. but it's up to you.
Yes.
You have the right to the 5 minutes, but really is not adding if you repeat the same thing in different words. So please tell us and make it as clear as you want.
Okay, I just want to say we support our members' reasons, especially the Dr. Ken's. Yeah, that's our opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. So you agree with the comments from Dr. Yeah? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So the next one, Zen Wang Bijan is not there, huh? Yes or no? Is he there?
Mr. Chair, no, they are not present.
No, there's the next one, Natasha Feather, she's there.
Correct. Natasha is present.
Natasha Feather, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you heard what's happening here. You have the right to speak. So if you agree with them, no need to repeat it.
Yes, I agree with my neighbors. I think they've done a wonderful job. So I won't repeat. I might just add just two things I'd like to emphasize. One, it just seems to me that this is not a minor variance, but it really seems like a major one. So as a layperson, I'm just not sure how it's before us now. But just to add to what Mr. Roland, what he just said about the OMB, just to add a little bit of emphasis, he pointed out the two prior applications for severances, and I just wanted to point out that those were both on corner lots, whereas this lot is actually on a cul-de-sac. So the reasons for objecting to the other decisions are even greater here, in my opinion. It would have a greater impact, and that's really all I'd like to add. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very clear. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, Musa is not there, right? And Loretta Liu is not there either. And William Tsang is not there either. Okay. Now, the next one is Patrick Su. Patrick Su, are you there?
Hi there.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you heard what's happening here. Would you please pick up from there and tell us what's your concern? If it's the same thing, we heard it, but you have the right to speak.
It's the same thing, but I have a few points to add to that.
Please, yeah.
I'm at 1651 Boulevard,
yeah.
which is 2 houses down from the 2 lots that Roland mentioned at 159 and 161. And I can tell you that at the time I was being faced with having houses encroach on the backyard space, I was quite upset about it, and I actually did attend that hearing at the provincial board, and at which those decisions were made to refuse those applications. The thing about what Mr. Ross has said is that, you know, he says that the side yards are not being reduced, but he doesn't mention about the huge reduction in rear yard setback that would affect the neighbor that's front on Owen, 211 Owen Boulevard. And my sympathy for them is, you know, is huge, because they would actually have very little privacy with a house that is pretty much on top of them if it's built. The other thing that I should mention is that the owners did send out a letter to neighbors. I received a copy secondhand, in which they explained their reasons for not for asking for this severance and variance, and it did not at all mention the desire to have a second house for any children. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to bring that up at this point. So I as you can tell, I think that the committee should refuse these applications.
Thank you. Any question? No? Okay, now the next one is Barry Rater. Wasn't there, was he? He's not, huh? Oh, he is. Okay, Barry Rater.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm at 192 Owen Boulevard, where I've been a resident for over 20 years.
Okay.
I support the reasons that have been provided by my neighbors, very well stated, for rejecting this application. Those reasons are also supported by the municipal planner and by our local councillor and ratepayers association. These are not minor variances that are being sought, and I hope the committee will reject this application.
Very clear. Thank you for being so so clear. Okay, so that finishes the area residents, and we'll go back to Mr. Ross. Mr. Ross, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so you have 5 minutes to wrap up and tell us and answer the questions and the concerns that has been mentioned by all the neighbors here.
Well, as I said, we do think that the variances that we're asking for in general are minor. There is very little impact on anyone driving down the street. When you have the two houses built there, it'll look like any other two houses on the street. The rear yard setback on the smaller lot to the rear is shorter. There is an existing hedge that goes across the back. It faces onto backyards. It doesn't face on anybody else's house. The house, in the back house, as far as it goes with the neighbor's house to the back of it, we're complying with the side yards at 6 feet, so it's similar to what has been approved before. It's actually basically what the bylaw requires. But the lot to the front, there's been a lot of talk about the driveway in the corner. But it is, in reality, a considerable distance away from the corner because there's a large boulevard that goes around it. And it's also governed by the requirements of the Works Department, the roads people. I'm sure if they had any concern about it, they're not going to give us a curb cut or allow us to put the driveway out there. But I think it is actually far enough back from the corner it isn't going to be a problem. The issue of height seems to be mentioned quite often, and unfortunately, we comply with the height and under the new bylaw. We don't have a problem with the new bylaw. The old bylaw, which measures the height from the center line of the road to the midpoint of the roof, or in this case, they're taking it basically to the top of the flat roof. Flat roofs were permitted in the old bylaw, but for 25% of the roof surface. So that's where the height is. The overall height to the peak is 10 meters, complies with the bylaw, the present new bylaw. The setbacks are basically what we're asking for, and I think again they're not really impacting on anyone. And that's basically all I have to say with it.
That's it.
It's the same. It's the same when we talk about the severance of the lot. It is a smaller piece, but we're basically lining up with the house next door for the front of it, the rear. Yes, we're close to the rear property line, but the owner tells me he's going to live in it. Or anyone else, if they're going to buy it, are going to look at it and say, well, we don't want or don't need the backyard anyway. But it doesn't overlook anybody's windows or side yards or whatever. It doesn't go back beyond the house to the rear. So we're not really creating any problems with the building length, that sort of thing. The same with the one at the front. It's in general, we're coming pretty close to complying with the bylaws regarding side yards. There's no length requirement variance we're asking for. And we think they're basically minor.
That's your comment.
Yes, sir.
Are you finished? Yeah. Sir, are you finished, Mr. Ross?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I see you're concentrating on the variances, while the land to begin with, you have the required minimum front yard setback, and you have the lot area 690 is the 690 square meters is the required, and you have here 449. So you're saying that the lot is small. Well, if it's small, you have small house, small lot, big house, big lot. So that's what you have there. So let's see what other members are saying, and we'll move on. Any question for Mr. Ross? No question? And Ms. Sankar?
No, Mr. Chair, I was ready for a motion if you are.
Please. Yeah, just a second.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Just a second. Ms. Tatarod, you had your hand. Did you have any question? No? Okay, Ms. Sankar, please go ahead.
Okay, if there are no further questions from my colleagues, Mr. Chair, through you, I want to thank Mr. Ross and all of the members who have taken time off their work to share their concerns today. I've taken all of that seriously in making the motion, and from what I've heard, what I've read, I still don't believe that Mr. Ross has adequately addressed the concerns of the members who have come here today or the reports that were presented to us. As such, I don't believe that this property meets the character of the neighborhood. I don't believe it's minor, and I certainly don't believe it's appropriate for the development of the land. And so for these reasons, I motion to refuse this application.
Thank you. Second. Mr. Bartolo had two seconds. Mr. Bartolo seconds. All in favor? Okay. Mr. Ross unanimously refused. The application was refused unanimously. And thank you for coming. Okay. Application number 3, which is 290 Briar Hill Avenue. 290 Briar Hill Avenue, and here we have Miss Evangelista. Are you there?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members. I am here.
Okay, just a second, please. Do we have the Feather Roland there?
No, Mr. Chair and members, the local area resident that was wishing to speak is not present on the call.
Okay, so we have just the agent, and the could you just, I know who you are, but could you please repeat your name and address so we can have it recorded on the voice here?
Yes, Mr. Chair. My name is Ida Evangelista. My address is 53 Bentworth Avenue, Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you. I'll ask those members, do we need any presentation? We have here the is a 2-story addition, 3 variances, forestry, and 4 letters of support. Do we have do we need a presentation? No? Okay. Okay, so
Mr. Chair?
Ms. Evangelista, the members do not need a presentation. Do you still want to say something?
I do. I do have to make a correction to the notice because there were revised plans.
I'm sorry, we don't hear you clearly. Could you please speak to the microphone?
Yes.
It's breaking.
We have reduced. I just want to notify. I understand you don't want a presentation. However, I would like to notify you and the members that our FSI has been reduced and it's now 0.603.
Now is 0.603.
And the number 1 is now 0.603.
Okay. Any other change?
Okay. No.
Okay.
And you do have the plans that reflect this change.
Oh, it has reflected already. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you. Variance number 1 is changing to 0.603, and there is forestry. And can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Sorry, Mr. Bartolo had his hand up first.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
who wants to speak? Mr. Bartolo, go ahead.
Sure, I'll carry on. Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll put forward a motion to approve this proposal with the following amendments: that variance number 1, proposed floor space index, be changed to 0.603 as requested by the applicant, and that the proposal be subject to the conditions of the urban forestry memo.
Thank you. Second? 2 seconds. Mr. Klassen? Second. All in favor? Okay. Ms. Evangelista, your application is unanimously approved based on those changes. One change and the condition.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Application number 5, which is 261 ELLERSLIE. And we have Mr. Romano, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
Okay, thank you. How about you? Just give
Pretty
us,
fine, thank you kindly.
Thank you. Just give us your address and you repeat your name for the records here.
Certainly, Franco Romano, 2095 Autumn Breeze Drive South, Port Credit, Ontario.
Thank you. Let me just see here. We have a new dwelling, 1 variance, and 7 letters of support. Members, do we need any presentation? Any presentation? No. Okay. So the members do not need the presentation. Do you want to add something, or we just move on to the decision?
No, sir, I'm here to answer any questions that the committee may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any question? Miss Atarodi first. Yes?
Yes. Okay, if other panel members have no other question, I want to put forward a motion to approve this application because it's very straightforward with no conditions.
There's no conditions. Thank you. Second, Mr. Bart. I have 2 seconds. Mr. Bartolo and Mr. Klassen. Okay, Mr. Bartolo, go ahead. Second, yeah. All in favor? Okay, unanimously. Mr. Romano, your application is unanimously approved with no conditions.
Thank you kindly. Enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate it.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, application number 6, which is 21 Kenona Avenue. And we have the agent here, who is Murat Özgur. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Murat Özgur, right? Okay, could
Yes, Murat Özgur, yes.
Good. Could you please repeat your name and give us your address as well?
Okay, my name is Murat Özgur and my address is 11 Cassidy Place, Toronto, Ontario.
Very good. Okay. This one here is a new dwelling, 6 variances, transportation, no objection. So, members, do we need a presentation here? No? Thank you. So, Mr. Özgur.
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair. I would like to explanation about lot coverage. The applicant requested 34.23% versus, yeah, 30%.
You want explanation for that, huh? Okay.
Yes, please.
Mr. Özgur, did you
Yes,
hear?
of course.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Okay.
Is it possible to show? I sent the documentation regarding the comparables in the neighborhood. Is it possible for you to see that?
Sir,
Yes.
it is up on the screen, so go ahead.
It's on the screen.
Exactly. So this is, as you can see in the plans, also our garage is in the first floor, and the garage is included in the coverage as well. So like unlike some other houses, the garage is not between the basement and the first floor. And the lot area is 581 square meters. First floor with the garage is 198.84, so almost 199 square meters. Garage is 20 square meters. So first floor without the garage is almost like 179 square meters. So if you include the garage with the coverage, then the coverage comes to 34.23%. But if you consider without the garage, then the coverage is about 31%. Also, as you can see here in this neighborhood, there are previous approved decisions, which is like 74 Clanton Park Avenue is 36.34%, 59 Clanton Park Avenue is 36.8%, 92 Clanton Park Avenue is 35.9%, 115 Clayton Park is 35.56%. And also 116 Laurel Crest Avenue is, which I represent before, is 35.7%. These houses are almost the same design with the same type of garage, entrance, porch, and the look of the houses are this type of houses. So that's why we are asking 34.23%. Yes.
Okay.
Which is in this area, as you can see, most of the houses are approved like that.
Mr. Tarodi, is that answering your question?
Yes.
Okay. So, any other question? And Mr. Osgood, are you are you finished? Did you want to say
Yes.
something? Did you want to say something?
Yes, sir. No.
No, you
I
finished.
am finished. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, if there is no question, can I have a motion, please? Mr. Klassen?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to approve this application. It is minor and there aren't any conditions attached to it. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you. No conditions. Second? Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Okay. Sir, your application is unanimously approved and there is no...
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I oppose.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
problem.
saw you're opposing, yeah? Okay. So your application is approved and there is no conditions.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item number 7, which is 283 JEDBURGH, application number 7. Mr. Enzo Lucizano, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You have a, we have one more speaker. Is it registered? Available, yeah? Okay. So we have one more speaker. So please go ahead and make your presentation. You have 5 minutes. And I'm starting the clock now.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, what we're proposing on this project is to remove a partial addition on the second floor and the deck, and also to remove the third floor deck to create a second-story addition over the existing one-story over the existing building below. The only variance we are seeking is an increase in the GFA to 0.81. Yeah, and as we did look at properties on the street, and there's several properties at 301, 299, 297, 293, 295, well over that number, close to 1.0. We're not asking for length of building. We're not asking for setbacks. It's purely a GFA number, and that's pretty much it.
Very good. Thank you. Any Any question? But we'll bring him. We'll bring him back after we hear from the opponent here. So we have the Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah, Dulbikers, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, could you please state your name and address?
It's Debbie Wilkes at 287, not 285, JEDBURGH Road.
Okay, and could you tell us what your concern is?
I'm going to lose all the sun on my deck. There was already a variance requested when this house was built originally, 12 years ago. And I fought for this piece of sun that I'm getting now. And now it's going to go. This is going 18 feet up in the air from the wall you see on your pictures.
Yeah. 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 I saw
I
saw your letter and your and the pictures you sent with it. And
I will also lose the sun into my upstairs living room and my downstairs second bedroom, which will make it almost like a north side of the house, because the house that's at the end of this property that was been allowed to build, the sun now doesn't rise till 10 to 8 past the roof of it. That's not a very good picture of it. That house is actually right in the back of my neighbor who's proposing this, Troy and Jenny. So the picture didn't do it justice, but that is where the sun rises, and I don't even get that till at least 7:45. So I have reduced sunlight even at that point. I can't do anything about the house at the back, but this is impacting me now even more if this goes up.
okay. Okay, that's it. So what you're saying is because of the extension is going to block your side, your sunlight.
In the back of my house.
Yeah. Now, if they didn't have this variance, which is instead of 0.81, they go to 0.6, would it still block your sunlight?
Now, I don't know where that would actually look like on, say, the second balcony.
Okay.
Are you talking stepping it more closer to the house?
Okay. Are you finished, or do you want to say something else?
Well, I'm just asking.
Okay. Well, we'll have the agent comes back. We'll see if the members have any question. Any question for the speaker? No. Okay. So we'll have the agent comes back, and he'll address your concern. Okay. So, Mr. Enzo Lucizano, could you come back, please?
Yep, I'm here.
And can you address that?
So yes, so just to clarify some of the facts that the neighbor had just said. When the house was originally built 2006, or sorry, went to Committee of Adjustment on November 30th, 2006, there was never a length requested at that time. What was requested at that time was a variance for GFA to 0.69, where 0.6 was allowed, and that was the only variance at the time. I do respect that there will be a reduction of sun on her deck, but it's a matter of roughly about 2 hours in the winter. Because as you can see in her photo number 3, I guess, that best describes it's a winter sun, which you can see our original building at the second story there to the right. So within, I would say within an hour, the same shadow would be cast, what the addition is going to cast. She's going to have more sun in her backyard. That really doesn't get affected. It's purely on her deck. She does get the morning sun on her deck, but the later morning, for about 1 hour, that's what this addition will affect her. And that's it.
That's it. I have a question. You seem to know about the sun in the area. Let's say,
Yes.
let's say this variance is refused, you refuse the application, and you build according to the bylaw 0.6. Would that sun?
But we're already over, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, but
The
that's
existing house is at 0.69.
Okay, so you can't build.
So what we're actually doing is we're removing the decks because there was a deck on here that had to be removed. So we're actually increasing the privacy of the neighbor because we're not looking down on her because this photo, there was a roof leak, so they had to pull down the railing. You can see, I guess, a bit of the wood and membrane that's there because they had to repair the roof temporarily. So there's a deck on here currently with a railing, which we're actually removing. So again, the impact, with all due respect, the impact, yes, we are shadowing her deck for a short period of time with the addition, but it would be in shadow anyway within I would say one hour to an hour and a half, as you can see from photo 3.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you for the answer. We'll see what the members have. Do you have any question to this gentleman? No? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Just for everybody's sake of clarity on the subject, and just so the applicant can confirm my understanding of their application, this is an FSI increase, so there's nothing here for height or setbacks or anything, so they could, in theory, lower their square footage, but still build those walls in the same place and have the same effect on the neighbor regardless of coming to committee, correct?
Correct.
So while I'm sympathetic towards, and I appreciate the honesty just that the applicant has put forward, I don't think the FSI has an adverse effect on the neighbors, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good comment. So if there is no more comments, can I have a motion, please? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the presentation, and I believe this is minor in nature, so I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application.
There's no conditions. Thank you. Second?
No conditions.
Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. Okay, sir, your application is unanimously approved. With no conditions.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, number 8. Sasha Milinov, are you there? Sasha Milinov. This is application number 8, which is 2850 KEELE Street. Sasha Milinov. She's the agent, right? I mean,
correct, Mr. Chair. Sasha is present and she is unmuted.
I think it's he. Yeah. Sasha Milinov, are you there?
Sasha, if you're able to log off and log back in and authorize your microphone, I see you're logged in twice under two names. So if you're able to log out and log back in, and we'll try again. Make sure you authorize your microphone. Like I said, Mr. Chair, they are present on the call, and they are unmuted.
Can you call again? Yeah.
So we'll hold this for a moment or two.
Okay. Can you remind me? Okay. Number 9 is gone. Item number 10, which is number 9, SANDPIPER. Application number 10. The address is 9 SANDPIPER Court. And here we have Vache Askejian. Are you there?
Yes, I'm present, sir.
Okay. Okay. We have this this application here is as a new dwelling, 3 variances and 3 letters of support. Do we need a presentation? No? Okay. Mr. Vache is, how do you pronounce your last name?
Isketjian.
Isketjian. Okay, Mr. Isketjian, the members do not need a presentation. Did you want to say something else? Will we move to decision?
Well, I'll be here
Okay.
if there's a need to answer any questions.
Okay, yeah, just to ask you if you didn't need anything. Okay, so can I have a motion there?
I just have a quick question. I appreciate an explanation regarding variance number 5.
Variance number 5. We have 3 variances.
Oh,
I mentioned 3 variances and 3 letters of support. You're looking at something.
Are you
okay?
Are you looking at the proper one?
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. We'll sort it out. So okay. So Ms. Sankar has a hand there. You want to make a motion?
Yes, sir. Through you,
Please.
Mr. Chair, I
Please.
motion to approve this application without condition.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Klassen. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Ms. Ataroji?
I'm not opposing, but I just not have the file in front of me. Can I just not vote?
Oh, so, okay. All right, so. You don't have the thing. Okay, so you're abstaining for voting. Okay, so sir, your application is approved, and there is no conditions there.
Thank you very much.
How about the other one? Is he still there? Try again. That's number 8, Sasha Milenov. Sasha Milenov, are you there? This is regarding 2850 Keele Street. Okay, we'll hold it again. We'll hold it again. We'll go to number 11. Application number 11, which is 326 Brookdale Avenue. And here we have Mr. Sprague. Mr. Tom Sprague, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Okay, okay. So please state your name and address. We need it just for the records, okay?
Okay, yes, it's Tom Sprague, architect, and our address is 156 Duncan Mill Road,
Thank
Suite
you.
17A.
Thank
in
you.
Toronto, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we have here to build 1 and 2-story addition and rear, and 3rd-story addition, new covered porch, and a new deck. We have six variances. Staff report, all they having just one recommendation, one condition to
Yes.
to provide a screen and opaque screening. We have 18 letters of support. And Mr. Sprague, I saw your letter. Regarding the changes that you made there, but they already reflected in the staff report and in the.
Oh, that's right. No, I'll give you a bit of background on the application. Just first of all, very briefly, but the owners have lived in their home now for 8 years, and they do need additional living space for their families. So they have talked extensively with all the surrounding neighbors, as evidenced by the letters that you do have on file. And of particular importance there are the 2 immediate neighbors on each side, as well as the one on the back.
Now you're going to the full description here. First,
yes.
First, I want to ask the members: do we need a presentation here? We don't need a presentation here, and we'll see just if there's any questions. Okay, I saw your letter, and we have everything in front of us. We'll see what the members are saying. Do you have any question for this gentleman? It's a straightforward. Okay.
I'll also say we're totally in support of that condition of the privacy fence.
Okay.
As being a conditional provision. Yeah.
Okay. Now
from the staff.
Okay, I'm coming back to the first question. The members do not need a presentation. Do you still want to add something?
No, I just think there's been a lot of communication, and not only with all the neighbors, but the planning staff as well. And my feeling is what's proposed here is in keeping with the neighborhood, and it's I think reasonable. And and a good thing in this case is the neighbors are very supportive.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, so if there is no question, I need a motion, please. Mr. Klassen was first. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to approve this application. It is minor, and with one condition, that the applicant provide permanent opaque screening along the east edge of the proposed deck to at least 1.5 meters from the floor of the platform.
Right. Okay. That's the condition of the staff. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Can I have a second? Ms. Satarodi? Second. All in favor? Okay. Mr. Sprague, your application is unanimously approved, subject to that condition regarding to provide a screening. You're okay with that? Okay.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, so it's approved.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
would it be possible that we get 10-minute break?
You talk to my welding. Okay. We're gonna be we'll have a 10-minute recess and we'll be right back. Thank you. Application number 12, which is 94 Nightmark Avenue. And here we have Mr. Joseph Macitelli.
Yes,
You're there. How do you pronounce Macitelli?
yes, Mazzatelli.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So we have two more speakers registered for here, and we need you to make a short presentation. And you cover. Do we have here like a new dwelling, 11 variances, staff report, recommend to refuse variance number 1 and number 3, and we have 4 letters of support. Now, could you elaborate on the refusing of number 1? I understand the FSI was registered as, I saw correspondence that's registered as 9.9 meters, which actually that's supposed to be for the rear setback, and the front setback is really 9.2. So please cover that in your presentation so the members will know what we're talking about.
Yes, thank you. My name is Joseph Mazzatelli. I'm the agent. And basically, we would like to remove some variances in the hope that you approve this today. So definitely, we would like to remove variance 1, which has to do with the setback issue. Also, we would like to remove variances 5, 7, and 8. And those variances have to do with patios and porches.
5, 7, and 8. Now, 5, 7, and 8, and number 1, right?
Yes, and I'll speak about the other variance, number 3, in a minute.
Okay.
Basically, the owners are Julia and Robert, and they've lived in this house for 9 years with 2 children, and they now wish to build a new house, and they're hoping to keep everything within the limits. Basically, the new house is located where the existing house is, and we have an existing driveway situation. So the owners prefer currently the existing driveway. It's about a 4% slope to the house, but it's higher than the sidewalk and higher than the street level at the midpoint. So it's not an issue. It's not a problem with water. The reason they like the driveway is they're used to it. And that when children play on it, it controls their pucks and balls from going out into the street. So hopefully, I think I would ask that you approve variance 3, which has to do with the location of the driveway vehicle entrance. And as I said, we'd like to remove 1 and 5, 7, and 8. We have neighbors that support this project. I sent in 3 other Committee of Adjustment decisions that are similar to ours that have been approved. And the variances that we have are quite minor. The side yard variances are only an issue at the front of the house. At the rear of the house, we actually have more than 1.8 meters. And the rear patio variance, I'm not sure why it's there. We only have 3 steps up to the patio from the grade, but still that's a variance. And we have a height variance, which is in keeping with the overall zoning bylaw, I hope, with the other decisions I submitted to you. So in my opinion, this is desirable. The owners want to live on the street. They love the street. The neighbors mostly support, from what I know, and the variances are desirable. They're minor in nature. It's in keeping with the character of the street and in keeping with the zoning and official plan. And we hope that you support this. And in terms of the variance 3 again, we hope that you support that. And if for some reason we could compromise, we could lessen the difference. It's really only a 10-inch difference. So hopefully that you would find that acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What you're saying is that the entrance really is higher than the street. Only in one area is a little bit below, and that is only a difference of 0.224.
Yes, it's only 10 inches.
10 inches. Now the question is, we said we compromise. How do you want to compromise on that?
Well, I would ask that you would accept that variance as it is.
Okay.
And if you cannot, we could reduce the difference by half.
Well, you know,
So that it,
you know how we operate here. We don't negotiate, and we don't do. You tell us what you want to do, and we'll move on what you want to do. If you want to change this,
yes.
tell us what to change it to. If you want to leave it as is, we'll leave it. But we can't tell you what to do and negotiate it.
Okay, well, then in that event, we would ask to remove that variance as well.
Oh,
in
okay.
the event that you can support this application.
So number 1, number 3, 5, 7, and 8.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So let's hear the other speakers here, see if they have any concern, and we'll come back to you, okay? We have here Brooke Parish. Are you there? Brooke Parish.
Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Okay, please state your name and address for the records, please.
Yeah, my name's Brock Parrish. I'm at 112 Nightmark Avenue, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, so you heard the changes made by the applicant. Do you still have concern? And if yes, please state.
Sorry, I heard the one change. I couldn't hear the other one. So the one change is going to, was the variance that pushes out towards the street. That's going to be removed.
I see, yeah. Number 1 is, he's removing it. He's removing number 5, 7, and 8.
Sorry, can you just tell me what I missed the other, can you tell me what is also being removed? Like what changes are being removed?
Brock, if you can refer to the public notice that you were mailed to, those changes will be.
Okay, hold on, I've got it in front of me. So you're saying 5, which is the maximum area of the platform.
Yeah.
On the second story. And then 8.
7 and 8, which is platforms. Yeah, so all of this he's.
Yeah, my only concerns were just that part of coming out towards the street, which, you know, if it comes out too far, it doesn't pertain to the other houses. It looks, you know, doesn't blend in with the structure of the other houses. And then the back, you know, just the height. So I think that's what's being removed. So if that's the case, then that's the only concerns I had, really. I mean, I know that there's going to be bigger homes created. Just my concern is them blending in with our neighborhood.
So you're okay with that? Okay, so let's see the members. Do you have any question for the speaker? No? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Oh, Mr. Klassen, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, just a quick clarification. I thought that also variance 3 was being removed.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He at the end he removed number 3 as well. Thank you, Mr. Klassen. Okay, so the next one is Roland Kirchling. Mr. Kirchling or Roland? Are you there?
I'm here, Roland Kirchling.
Okay, could you please state your name and address, please?
It's Roland Kirchling at 113 Nightmark Avenue.
Thank you. You heard the changes made by the applicant, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you still have any concern, or you're okay with the changes?
Well, no, like while I'm kind of not against development, I'm feeling we are building houses that don't really fit in the area at all. And when I look at the policy 415 of the revision plan, it states that it should kind of have the existing characteristics of existing neighborhoods. And I really feel this building, which pushes a lot of limits, like it used to be 11 variances, now it's a little bit less. It's really, in my view, way too big because it will tower over the neighborhood. Plus also it will set the precedent for all future developments to build large houses in our area. That's really my concerns.
Okay. Any question for this gentleman? No? Okay. So that completes the speakers, and we'll call back on Mr. Masitelli. Could you please come back and you wrap up and tell us the concern of the latest speaker?
Yes, thank you. So once again, we do have variances, but there are also variances that we do not have. The house is not too large. We are not asking for lot coverage variances. We're keeping within the coverage. We're not having a wall height variance. We're not having a building length variance. We're not having landscape variances. So we're hoping that you'll find that this is a reasonable solution for a new house on the street.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think the you removed especially the ones that the staff report is asking, 1 and 3, and then you added 5, 7, and 8, and we appreciate your effort. So, any questions for this speaker? And if not, I need a motion, please. Mr. Bartolo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree that the remaining variances are minor in nature, and even the setback ones, they're tapered and actually exceed the required setbacks in some areas as well. So I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application with the following amendments: that minor variances 1, 3, 5, 7, 8 be removed, and the balance variances approved.
Thank you. And there is no condition here. Okay. Can I have a second, please? Mr. Klassen, second. All in favor? Okay. Sir, your application is unanimously approved based on those changes you made.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is number 8 back?
Mr. Chair, number 8 is back. We can give it a shot here.
Okay. Okay, number 8.
I'm back, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes. Huh? Oh, that's the applicant. Okay. Mr. Sasha Milanov, right? Could you please
That
state?
is me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Forgive me for being a total techno-peasant, but it seems to be the technology is not working that well.
It's okay. We waited for you. So please state your name and address, please.
Sasha Milanov, 63 St. Clements Avenue in Toronto. I'm an architect and a professional planner appearing on behalf of the owners who are present during this presentation.
Okay, this is 2850 KEELE. Regarding 2850 KEELE, this is to build a new 4th floor addition, and we have 6 variances.
That's correct.
Staff report just a condition to develop a site plan and landscape plan, and transportation, no objection. Members, do we need a presentation here? No? Okay, so the members do not need a presentation. Do you want to add something? You want to say something else? Or we just...
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, I want to add is that the first 4 variances are actually existing. The only 2 variances that we are requesting is the gross floor area for the 4-story addition and parking. But parking is only an existing area that the parking is now, and we have the satisfactory site plan. Both planning and transportation are in agreement with the proposal. So I kindly request your approval.
Okay, thank you. So, questions or motion? If you have no more questions, I'd like a motion, please. Mr. Bartolo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I agree with the comments of the applicant there. It's an existing condition and some additional intensification here. So I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application with the condition that it be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawings and landscape plan submitted to the Committee of Adjustment as attached in numbers 1 and 2 of this report.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Sankar, second. All in favor? Okay. Sir, unanimously approved. Your application is approved, subject to that condition of the staff to develop their site plan and landscape plan, okay?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Thank you. Number 13? I'm superstitious. Number 13. Okay, application number 13, which is 202 Tavistock. We have here Mr. John Ramirez. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you please just repeat your name and give us the address, your own address?
Yes, my name is John Ramirez. My home address is 371 Strawberry Crescent, Waterloo.
Thank you.
And I'm the
very good. Okay, so we have here a new two-story addition, one-story side addition, and second-story addition to the existing dwelling. So we have 3 variances, and TRCA report no objection. So I want to ask the members, do we need the presentation here? No? Okay. Sir, we don't need the presentation, and we can move on the decision if you, unless you want to say something.
Yes, I guess I would just make one note in regards to the first variance, that the platform that's causing this variance is existing. It's been existing for many years. The only thing is that we're adding a cover to that platform. So that's where the, I think that's where the variance was activated.
That's what the variance triggers. Okay, thank you. And questions, or can I have a motion then? Mr. Klassen?
Yes, Mr. Chair, these are minor variances, so I'd like to move to approve this application. Thank you.
Thank you. There's no conditions. Okay, second. Miss Sankara, Mr. Tarodi, I have 2 of them. Okay, who wants to do one? Ms. Sankara or Mr. Tarodi? Mr. Tarodi, okay. Second, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Unanimous. Your application is approved unanimously, and there is no condition, okay?
Thank you.
Number 14, huh? Oh. Application number 14, which is 17 SWIFTDALE Place, and application number 14. We have here Bijan Gianfar.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, can you please state your name and address for the records?
Bijan Gianfar, 17 SWIFTDALE, North York, M3B2 Victor 2M1.
Okay, thank you. So we have here the new dwelling, 4 variances. Staff reports just a condition to developer side interior and height and west elevation drawing. Forestry, no objections, no conditions, and 7 letters of support. So, members, do we need a presentation? No? Okay. Sir, we don't need the presentation as a committee, and we can move on to the decision unless you have something to say.
I don't think so, no. If
Okay.
you have any question, I will answer.
Thank you. Question or motion, please? Can I, Mr. Bartolo first, yeah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that the applicant's requests here are minor in nature, and there's no objections from staff, so I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application, subject that it be developed substantially in accordance with the side, exterior, main wall height as shown on the west elevation drawing attached in this.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Klassen? All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Your application is unanimously approved, subject to that condition of the staff. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Number 15, which is 277 Pleasant Avenue, and Mr. Xianchu Zhang, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, hi.
Okay, can you please state your name and address?
Yeah, my name is Shenchu Zhang, architect, 98 SCARSDALE Road, North York.
Thank you. So we have here a new dwelling, 7 variances. Councillor Ritter refused the coverage of 32.4. The agent
Yeah,
advised, the agent advised, yeah, just a second. The agent advised that it was changed to 32%, and there is a condition of the forestry. Now, there is no
yes,
other,
we like to change the variance 3 to the
yeah, can you,
the coverage is set
yes,
to
can you just hold on, please? We have no person recorded beside, no one registered beside the applicant. Do we need a presentation? No?
No.
Okay, sir, the members did not need the presentation. Do you still want to add something before we move to the decision?
No.
No? Okay. All right, so can I have a motion then? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just to confirm, was there a change made to the lot coverage percentage?
Yes, to 32%.
Down to 32, is that, did I hear that correctly? 32 even, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Originally was 32.4, they changed it to 32. There is a letter. Okay, so can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I do believe that this is minor and appropriate for the development, and I do believe it meets the 4 tests. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application. I'll make it subject to forestry and also subject to the changes made by the applicant, such that variance number 3 is reduced to 32%, and that's my motion.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Klassen, second. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Sir, your application unanimously approved, subject to the change you made at 32% and forestry. Okay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and the committee members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
16. Application number 16, which is 20 Rochester Avenue. Mr. Maher Manios, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, can you please just for the records here state your address and name?
Sure. It's Meher Manias. I'm number 1 Teakwood Grove, Toronto. I'm agent for the owner.
Okay, here we have a new dwelling, just 1 variance, 7 letters of support, 1 letter of concern, and forestry condition 2. So, do we need the presentation? No? Okay. Sir, Mr. Manios, the members do not need the presentation. So, do you want to add something before we move to the decision?
I'll just take a minute of your time, Mr. Chair. We have no objection to the forestry condition because we've already submitted the tree application, so we have no concern with the condition. We do have support of the 2 adjoining neighbors, and regarding the other neighbor to the west who had a concern, we did discuss the matter with him. The hedge in question is actually on my client's property, and they intend to save as much of it as possible. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Okay, through you, Mr. Chair, I do believe this is minor in nature, and I do believe it meets the 4 tests. And so I'll put forward a motion to approve the application, given all the letters of support, and it will be subject to forestry.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Okay. Mr. Manios, your application is unanimously approved. Subject to.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Subject to forestry.
Thanks again.
Okay. Application number 17, which is 178 Acton Avenue. And we have here one only agent, Murat Ozgur. Murat Ozgur, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you please repeat your name and give us your address?
My name is Murat Ozgur, and my address is 11 Cassidy Place.
Okay, thank you. So this is a new dwelling, 5 variances. Staff report received for information only. They didn't make any recommendation. And transportation, and no objection, just the usual recommendations. And forestry, condition number 2. So, Do we need a presentation? Ms. Tarodi?
Yes, I appreciate the presentation and also would like to get explanation regarding the variance number 2, the lot coverage of 34.4%, if he can include it in his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, could you please make your presentation? You'll have 5 minutes and cover the coverage variance, okay?
Yes, of course. As you see in the staff report, there was an existing previously approved committee decision. So some of the variances are going to be removed. So such as number 1, the sidewall height is, because of the previous decision, it's going to be removed. And you can see that in the staff report. Number 2, regarding the lot coverage, again, this is, if you can have a, can you have, show me yes. Just a minute. Can you please show the surrounding neighborhood properties? Yes. As you can see in my plans also, this is a modern house. And in this house, I have some in and outs on the front facades, in the front elevation, such as the garage is extending like almost like 4 feet, like 1.2 meters out from the main wall towards to the street. And this is like making the coverage bigger if you compare with the second floor of the house. And also, again, in the front, at the front, the porch is slightly bigger. Again, this is affecting our coverage. And when you compare with the second floor, with the first floor, the second floor is it's like a 33% coverage. But because of the first floor, which is like the garage extension out, and by the way, the top of the garage is a green roof. And this is, because of this, our coverage comes to 34.4%. And as you can see in the neighborhood, we have some other properties which has been approved with, such as like 109 Clifton Avenue as a 34.53. And we have 38 Combe Avenue, which is like 1 block north of the property. It's a 34.68% coverage. And also in the same street, 219 Acton Avenue, it is approved for 35.7%. And again, about number 3, the vehicle access, because it's a corner lot, we are going to have the vehicle access from the front of the property. Number 4, the driveway width, we are not asking this one, we are removing it. And number 5, again, it's a maximum permitted height for the North York bylaw. And again, this one is not required because it was previously approved by the committee decision before. Yes.
That's it?
That's it. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any question for the speaker? No? Mr. Bartolo, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Can we just review which variances are being removed from this proposal?
Do you hear him?
Okay.
Mr. Bartolo, can you please speak up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just requesting that we just review which variances are being removed from this proposal.
It was 1 and 3, I believe.
I thought
Yes,
I heard.
one is removed because of the existing approved decision. Number 3 is vehicle access. We are not removing that. Number 4, we are removing the width of the garage, the driveway, sorry. And number 5 is also removed because, again, it was previously approved. And these are also mentioned in the city planner staff report.
Okay, so numbers 1, 4, and 5 are being removed, and
Yes,
2 and 3
yeah.
are 2 and 3 are on the table.
4 and 5.
1, 4, and
No
5,
problem.
yeah.
Thank you.
So 2 and 3 are only remaining, yeah. Okay, any more question? If not, can I have a motion, please? Mr. Klassen?
Yes, Mr. Chair, in view of the previous decisions and that there are only two variances in front of us, I do see that on balance they are in keeping with previous decisions. So I will move to accept the application and make subject to urban forestry as well.
Forestry, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second? No second? Can I have a second, please? Mr. Bartolo, second. All in favor? Okay, opposed? Ms. Satarodi is opposing. And sir, your application is approved, subject to forestry.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Application number 18, which is 110 Runley Avenue, application number 18.
Mr. Chair, if we could have Mark Mitchell speak for this file.
Mark, what's his name?
Mitchell?
Mitchell. Mr. Mark Mitchell, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you're speaking on behalf of the application, so could you please state your name and address?
Yes, Mark Mitchell, 107 Manor Road, East Toronto.
Thank you. And we have two more speakers here, or just one?
Mr. Chair, it should be noted that the one speaker, Al, he is the owner.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then the other speaker, Candace Shaw, is not present on the call.
So Candace Shaw is no. So there's only the agent represented.
Correct.
Okay. So Mark, okay, very good. Okay, so we have just the agent here to speak on the number 18, which is just a new two-story addition, 3 variances. Staff report as agreed by the applicant modify variance number 3 from point 16 to point 6, and letter of concern, setback, privacy, and all that. Okay, so do we need the presentation and the changes were made by the applicant for variance 3 from point 16 to point 6? Do we need a presentation?
Mr. Chairman, you need the applicant to identify the variances that he's changing for the record.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll see if we don't need presentation. Mr. Mark Mitchell, the variance number 3 was changed from point 16 to point 6. That was confirmed by the applicant. Are you confirming that?
Yes, we negotiated that with planning staff,
Okay,
and
yeah.
we agreed.
Yeah, it was confirmed in the okay. So do we still need the presentation? If not, okay, Mr. Mitchell, we don't need the presentation. And could you please just tell us if you want to add something, or we just move on to the decision?
No, I will wait for questions if you have any.
Thank you. Questions or motion, please? I don't see any hand. Mr. Klassen.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I will move to approve this application. It is minor, and with the change that's been proposed, that the variance 3 changes from 0.14 to 0.6 meters. Yes, thank you.
Okay, and there is no condition. Okay, second. Ms. Sankar, second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, your application is unanimously approved, subject to that change you made to the variance number 3 to read now 0.6 meter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 19, which is 30 Gilgorm Road, application number 19. We have here the agent, Mr. Rose. Lon Rose, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Staff, is there Gordon Hertzman is there?
Mr. Chair and members, yes, both members of the community are present on the
Still there.
call.
Okay, Mr. Rose, we have, although, yeah, could you please just state your name and the address because it has to be recorded on the voice?
Yes, sure. It's Lorne Rose, 388 Spadina Road.
Thank you. We have two more speakers here, and therefore we need you to make a short presentation. This is a
Sure.
This is for a new dwelling, 19 variances. The staff report has a condition and forestry conditions. So please go ahead. I'll give you 5 minutes.
So I have spoken with Mr. Hertzman at number 28, and I sent in documents to the city, I think 2 days ago. We are agreeing to put up a privacy screen on the south side of our deck, 5 feet high, to give him privacy. We're also agreeing to move the balcony from the south side on the second floor, which will change variance number 9 from 13 square meters to 11. So that we won't be able to overlook him from that second floor. We've read the staff report. They have no objections if we follow the conditions set out in their report, substantially in accordance with the revised plans. Do you want me to take you through the variances, or should we let the opposition speak?
It's up to you. You have the 5 minutes. Do it as you please. And if there is any questions, we'll come back to you.
Okay. Just in keeping here, the proposal has a longer first floor, but the second floor is much shorter. Planning doesn't usually have problems with that. It's very much in keeping with the developments in the area. I've been designing houses in this area for 30 years, very much in keeping, densities in keeping, heights in keeping. I know there is a long laundry list of variances, all of them from 10 to including 14, not 15, are basically the same. We're asking for side yard setbacks that are in keeping with the area, but each deck or terrace needs its own setback. So while the shopping list looks big, as you can see from planning's comments, it is in keeping with the area. And don't have much else to say at this point.
Okay, thank you. So the change you're making now is you're changing variance number 9 from 13 to 11 square meters, and you agreed to put a fence, like a screen on the balcony, right?
Privacy screen, yes, for Mr. Hertzman on the south side of our deck.
Okay, those are the two changes. Now we will get you back in case there are any questions. In the meantime, we have two people who are registered. Mr. Gordon Hertzman, are you there? Mr. Gordon Hertzman.
Can you hear me? I am here.
Yeah, good. So could you please state your name and address?
My name is Gordon Hertzman. I live at 28 Gilgorm Road, which is on the south. I'm south of 30 Gilgorm.
Okay. So
you I just thank you.
You heard the change. You heard the change they made. Are you okay with that, or you would still want to speak to it?
Yes and no. So I just like to speak to it.
Okay.
I have registered my concerns about 30 Gilgorm. Basically, I've submitted it. I have had the opportunity to speak to Lauren Rose, and he seemed to be accommodating, which I appreciate. But I just want to let it be known to the committee, and I'm not quite sure what the outcome of this would be, is that this is a relatively large house for the size of the property, and even with the the things that have been offered, it really does impact the enjoyment of my property. My primary concerns of one are privacy, and also because of that, the potential value of my property. I know that the variances throughout were deemed to be minor, but I think it should be acknowledged that they are not minor variances. But I'm really not fighting those, and I guess I'm okay with that. But what I am looking for is just measures to mitigate the impact at the rear of my property, which is really, the size of the deck. And Mr. Rose has, has kindly offered to put a privacy screen up there. There was the balcony on the second floor, which again is looking down on my property, and he's offered to move the railing back so it's not, moving down. So I'm okay with that, and that's a step in the right direction. I did ask if they could think about doing some type of landscaping or greenery, because really what my neighbor and myself are now looking at is changing my view northward, which is a beautiful view looking onto greenery. You've talked about the character of backyards, and I'm going to be staring at a wall which is 30 feet high. And this really diminishes the enjoyment of my property in a major way. I'm not asking him to shrink the house down, but I am asking for other measures that could be taken in order to, mitigate that impact to my property. With respect to the deck and everything, again, you have to understand, my deck is 3 feet above the ground. His deck is 10 feet above the ground. And it does look down onto everything. And it really kind of takes away from our ability to kind of sit out in the back and enjoy our backyard. It's going to we've been in this house for 35 years, and it's going to dramatically impact, how our enjoyment of it. So I guess that's what I've been asking for. We did have an opportunity to speak before this call, to which, I was sent, a slightly marked up rendering, but I'm maybe it's a type of thing where we can come to more of an agreement and come back and revisit this. I'm not really quite sure how it works. Those are my concerns, and I guess I don't really have anything else to say. Thank you.
Okay, well, just to understand, I heard a lot: impacts and enjoyment, the privacy, the real estate, the value of the property. We have variances in front of us. Is there any variance here in particular that you are having a problem with, which will take it up with the applicant?
The variances, as I submitted in my submission, was I can give you the numbers. One was the things that I was concerned about was the proposed height of the building. It's it's a bit higher than normal, so that makes the deck higher. I don't know if it's possible to lower the deck. The second thing which I put in my submission was that it was the size of the deck, basically a much larger deck than normally allowed, looking right down, sitting 10 feet in the air, looking down into my backyard, to which I Mr. Rose was sensitive to that, to which he talked about the privacy screen, but still I'm looking at a very large deck, I basically, if you think about it, I have a big wall, and then beyond that, I have a large deck with another large wall, which is a privacy screen. So basically, when I come out of the back of my house, I'm staring at 20 feet of wall. That's very different than what I have right now. I recognize that, that's what we're dealing with here, but I just think that needs to be, considered. In terms of the balcony, again, it kind of adds insult to injury, because when the people are not on their deck looking down at me, now they're up on their balcony looking at me. That balcony is actually very close to my bedroom window. Now they can't see into it, but if they're sitting outside in a summer night entertaining some friends, I'm going to be listening to them.
Okay.
So the whole house basically has a very large outside entertainment area, which means a lot of noise and intrusion onto the enjoyment of my property.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if members have any other question. Any question to this speaker? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, if you could tell me or the committee members which actual variances these are that you have concerns with. I'm seeing it's number 9 around the balcony, number 10. I just would like you to clarify that. And also if you can answer me whether you think that this is characteristic of what you're seeing, having lived there for a long time in the neighborhood. Let me know if this meets the character of what you see.
Was that question to me?
Yeah,
Yes, to you, sir.
No. The 3 points, I can give you the numbers. It was 10.540-10 1A, bylaw 5692016. That was the height of the building. What I said in my submission is I was concerned that this is making the deck higher because the deck is coming out at the level of the first floor. So if the deck could be lowered or stepped down part way, that would certainly allay my concerns there. A lot of it, we're really concerned about the fact that this deck is sitting 10 feet in the air, looking down on us. And it goes back 25, it goes down about 20% of my backyard is looking up at a deck, looking down at me. The second one was chapter 10.540-50-20. And this has to do with a setback. Again, our houses are very close to each other. So I was really concerned about, again, that I'm sitting there and this deck, which is very large and could have a bunch of people having a party on it, is really only 2 or 3 feet away from me. So that was a concern that I had there. So obviously, and what I did ask Mr. Rose is if he could put the stairs or something to separate the deck away from us a little bit. Again, I'm willing to work with people here, but I just think that our concerns need to be considered. Second, 10-540-50-1B 569. This has to do with balcony. A normal balcony is 4 square meters. This balcony is 13 square meters. This is, again, an outdoor entertaining space which wouldn't normally be there. Not only is the deck in the rear impacting on our enjoyment of the property, now when they're finished during the day, now they're up on the top deck, speaking, and so we can hear every word in our bedroom. So again, maybe that's why the 4 square meters is the variant, is the zoning, because they don't want people at that level, looking down and having parties at night too. So those were my concerns, and he did. Again, I want to say that I did speak to him, and he seemed nice and everything, but these are my concerns. And the last one was 10-540-50-4, and that was the proposed deck is 3.3 meters above the ground. That's 10 feet in the air. If that deck was 1.2 meters above the ground, which seems to be what the limit is, I probably wouldn't even be on this call. So you have to understand, we have a very large deck, 10 feet in the air, looking down under our
Sir, you've kind of explained that already. I just need to know, does this meet the character of the neighborhood?
My next door neighbor's deck is 25 feet apart from me. It's not 10 feet in the air. It doesn't look down on me. I don't know. That's a good question. I would say that it does not.
Well,
I could say that the character of my backyard is that there's open space and there's greenery. And if you look at the plans here, this house extends 10 feet already over the existing footprint. The deck goes back another 10 feet, and it has a huge encroachment on the green space, which is simply not characteristic of the lots on our street, if you looked up and down.
Okay, thank you. I think we got your concern. And if there is any other question, we have more and more speakers here to come in. Okay, any more questions to the speaker? No? Okay, so we have Sherry Liday. Are you there?
Yes, hello.
Sherry Liday. Okay.
Sherry Liday. I'm from, sorry.
Just a second. Can you please repeat your name and address for us?
Sure. My name is Shirley Day. I'm from 26 Gilgum Road. Two houses from 30.
Okay.
I'm a next door neighbor to, sorry?
Tell us what's your concern.
So I think Gordon, my neighbor, just summarized it very well. I want to echo his words. I'm also concerned, I'm less impacted by those things, but I still think that the very extended house to the back and the high deck impacts also my ability to enjoy the landscape of my property when I look north. And to the question of whether this is this is what I see in the neighborhood, so I can only tell about the houses around me because I don't really know how the rest of the houses in the street look like. But it doesn't comply with what I see. All the houses, as far as I see north and south, and also to the back of my house from Spadina Road, the houses are very close to each other, but the backyards are very long and very spacious, and it gives you a feeling of spacious when you sit on the deck. So you don't really see other people when they sit on their decks, and I'm afraid, you know, that this will change that feeling. And I would also like to have some compromises that mitigate this impact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Just a second, see if there's any question for this speaker. If not, we'll call back the agent. Mr. Rose, can you come back, please, and address those concerns? Mr. Rose?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay, now you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so as you heard, we did have conversations with Mr. Hertzman. He asked us for some landscaping, which I said we can consider that. I did mention that the Committee of Adjustment doesn't uphold private agreements between neighbors. We can still negotiate those things. I have no problem with that. In terms of committee members' questions about in keeping with the area, I know that's a tough question for neighbors to answer because they don't know the bylaw. What I can say is through the staff report, you can see that it very much is in keeping with development in the area. These few houses in a row here, 30, 28, 26, they are sort of the anomaly here. They have not been redeveloped. I don't know if any of you were able to do a site visit or looked on Google Earth, but they look across the street and all these houses have been rebuilt. Most of them had below grade garages, negative sloping garages, which is what we did 30 years ago. We can't do that now. So the garages are on grade with a positive slope, which we've done here. And so all I can say is if you look at the development in the area for the last 30 years, new houses were coming up very much in keeping with this. The bylaw has changed, and that's why there's a lot more variances. By the way, we are at the OAA is at the T-Lab right now, defending the variance change challenges to the height bylaw. I know I've kept you abreast of that. So while I do believe that this is change, it's very much in keeping with development in the area. I can answer any other questions.
Okay, thank you. So just to get the changes, number 9, you're changing from 13 to 11 square meters, and you agree to
Yes.
And you agree to a privacy fence of 5 feet high, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So any questions to this speaker? With those changes, there is the staff report condition and forestry condition. Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you and listening carefully with the neighbor and empathizing as well with the neighbor, I've looked at this report, and I do believe that regardless of what this applicant puts in, there is going to be a certain amount of impact. With that being said, I hope that Mr. Rose, you guys work through whatever is necessary privately with the neighbors, as you've been helping in that regard, and I'd like you to continue that. I'll put forward a motion, therefore, to approve this application. I'm going to approve it with the changes made by the applicant here today, such that variance number 9 is reduced to 11 square meters, and that a privacy fence of 5 feet tall be implemented. It'll be subject to the February 22nd staff report in that the property be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and south and north elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, and also subject to forestry. That's my motion.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Klassen, second. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Mr. Rose, your application is approved unanimously, subject to those changes you made and agreement to put a fence.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Now, this finishes the morning session. I would say midday session, and we'll resume at 1:30. You know, they didn't give us enough time for lunch.